Here we are, second episode of The Boardroom, presented by Salty Humans. I'm your host, Steve-O. Here we are with Pontcha Surf, also known as Keegan
McGuire.
McGuire.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about yourself, Keegan. Who
uh,
are you? Where are you from?
um, I am a guy from New Orleans, Louisiana, who surfs in weird spots
hmm
and started Pontcha to bring the surf community back together.
What is Pontcha Surf?
Pontcha surf is just kind of like a group of people that go out surfing. It's kind of like Salty Humans in a way, um, but it's also like a brand. We make T-shirts and stuff, and just have fun with it. Try to promote fun,
Fun,
all the fun stuff.
the lifestyle,
Yeah.
surfing. Tell us about like the surfing community over there. What is it like? Kind of like a tight knit community, or
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it might be.
Yeah, super tight knit, but it's super open too.
Everyone knows everyone usually.
Yeah, everyone knows everyone. It's kind of like how it is here. But the thing about it is there wasn't really like a surf community even just a few years ago. It was just like sporadic people like surfing and like finding out they could surf in Grand Isle. But there was, the latest articles they had up until we like showed up on the internet was like 2009, 2010, and then it just kind of went blank. And so a lot of people weren't down there. And I showed up one day during like a tropical storm, and there was dudes out there, and I was like, "What?"
What's going on here?
And it was a bunch of dudes from Homa, and they just like, I don't know, it like stoked me up because I was like, okay, so this could be an actual thing, like, because I started Pontcha as a joke,
hmm
about surfing the lake, and then I realized pretty quickly like I should probably take this more seriously because there's no surf culture here, so we need to like rebuild that because there used to be, and
Yeah,
it just died out.
Tell us about like the history. Like, you remember you were telling me that in the documentary you had something on your website about history of Louisiana. Then some guy emailed you. I forget his name. What was his name?
Billy Hingle.
Billy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and basically had a whole different story for you.
Yeah, on the website I said, and this was all based off of like what I was told by some of the like elders or whatever. They had told me that the earliest people they knew surfing in Louisiana was like in the 70s, like early 70s. But that's because that's when the Homa guys started going down there. That's what I found out from Billy. But he started in '64.
Is that the? I'm not.
Oh,
familiar with
Homa.
Louisiana.
So Homa is like an hour away from New Orleans,
Okay.
going south, and then from Grand Isle, it's an hour. So like they're way closer than we are. So like a lot of people had trouble like back in the day coming down from New Orleans, unless they had like a camp down there or whatever. But yeah. So Billy, just out of the blue, man, just he sends me an email, and the subject line is, "You've got your history wrong." And I'm like,
Who is this
either
guy?
either this guy is like really pretentious, or because I was like, Billy Hingle, that sounds kind of like an older guy, and so I just sent back like, hey, some details would be sick, and he sent back like a full on story like 2 or 3 days later, and found out he was the first person to surf Grand Isle. And he didn't give me a certain year, but he said that it was like early to mid 60s.
Mhm.
It was him and his brother-in-law for like 2 years before anyone else showed up, or he noticed
What
anyone.
he noticed.
Yeah.
Does he think anyone came before him, or does he honestly think he pioneered it? I'm
I've-
not trying to downplay.
No,
Yeah.
and I mean, I still have that openness,
Mhm.
just in case. But like, as far as my knowledge goes right now, like he
Yeah.
was the first. Because even he said that there was times where he'd go down there and like people would be like, no one surfs here. Like I've never seen anyone surf here. And for locals to say that, they kind of like says something,
Mhm.
But he met his wife there and everything, so like it was a big part of his life.
And he's always grown up there.
Yeah, he grew up like down on the bayou. And like in the film, you like
Down on the bayou.
down the bayou. He says certain things, and you like the way he sounds like it says like towns and stuff. You're
I
just
love
like,
that accent.
I know,
That
dude.
Louisiana
And I wish I had it, but
is sick.
but yeah, he's a very authentic person. And like once he sent that story back to me, I was just kind of like, oh, it makes sense now. Like that's his claim to fame,
Mhm.
you know, or he feels like it is. And I actually did like an interview with this magazine or whatever. I think it's Oxford American, and she had done research on him. Like went on the internet, found these really deep articles that his brother-in-law had written. And I was like, how could I not find that? Like, where was this
Yeah.
stuff? And she was like, dude, it was in the depths of Reddit. Like,
Oh,
you
wow.
had to really be looking for
By
it.
scrolling through the comments
Yeah.
and all that.
And I was like, yeah, I don't really spend that much time on Reddit. I know you do.
Oh, yeah. Big Reddit fan.
Yeah. But no, I was like, man, I could have known this earlier had I really, really done research. But, you know, I'm glad that he just popped up.
Mhm.
He said he searched surfing Louisiana
And that's
on Google.
you
And
came up.
yeah, and we come up. And he read the history and immediately sent an email. He was like,
He was on it.
it was like the first line. He just stops, email. That's what he
That's
said to me. I was laughing so hard.
Then tell me about the documentary that just came out. How did it's Van's collab with you, Pontcha, and the documentary Louisiana Surfing? How did they come to you and you kind of
Yeah.
with that idea?
Yeah, so they were doing this project through an agency called Nito Agency, and Nick, the guy that filmed it, he had never followed us before. Just out of the blue, he did the same thing, surfing Louisiana, searched it, found us, and he was like, hey, I have this idea for a film about surfing in Louisiana. Vans wants to back it. So we just rolled with it from there. And I mean, honestly, it happened so fast. And I kind of thought it wasn't real because we've had like a few people kind of hit us up and be like, hey, want to do a story on you for this and this. And then it just doesn't follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like with this, I was really scared that it wasn't gonna like everything wasn't gonna go through. So I was really timid at first, and after a while, I realized, oh God, this is real. Like it's about to get serious, and it was like a 3-month long process, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. And then Nick, or the filmer, just kind of flew down to.
No, he lived
Oh,
in
he
New
lives there.
Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes to Tulane.
Okay.
He's a student at Tulane, but he's from California.
Okay.
So
I got you.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And then of course it played last night at Waterboys, and wish I was there, but I'm sure it would have been sick.
It was pretty sick.
Yeah. I don't want to take too much away because you guys viewers can go watch that. Probably it's coming out soon. But
March 8th.
March 8th.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell us about like the swell directions of it. What produces waves like for Grand Isle and then on the lake? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grand Isle, you can have a southeast, but because of the
And then for them, we'll say Grand Isle is basically, you want to give like a reference kind of.
oh yeah. So I guess a reference point is just if you look at a map and you see New Orleans on the map, you look directly down and there's an island that kind of sits like facing like this towards the Gulf, and then like Louisiana juts out right here. So that's what I was talking about, the southeast. It'll hit all those barrier islands down there and kind of slow it down. So you really need like a southwest or kind of like a south-southwest almost, and it'll hit it almost directly.
Mhm.
And then northwest winds,
Perfect.
If it's north, it's kind of side shore because again the island sits like this, so it's like if it's blowing north, it's like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then northeast, it's straight up.
Yeah.
Basically, just faces northeast,
I
you know.
gotcha.
So it's really tricky. And then Port Fourchon, which is actually on the way to Grand Isle, it sits more like how it sits here,
Okay.
you know. So we can
you
have any
surf
type
there?
of wind.
You can surf there.
Yeah, but you have to take a boat out
Okay.
there. So that's in the film. They took out the roads a long time ago. Took out the beach access.
Was that because Katrina? I assume, maybe,
No,
or-
there's a land company down there that just buys up everything and leases it to oil companies, and they bought that land a long time ago, but it was a it was like a public beach, and you could like drive on it and everything. And even after the BP oil spill, like you could still go out there.
Mhm.
And then they closed it, took the bridge out, so you can't even like access it.
Wow.
So you have to take a boat. There's a marina like right before you got to that bridge, and you just go through the bayous, and you're there. So
Do you get hassled like if you're surfing in front of them at all, or have your
no,
boat by-
because the cops can't get out there now,
Okay.
and the Coast Guard really, they're not too worried about it. Most of them surf anyways, so yeah, they used to get hassled a lot when the bridge was still up. They just recently took down the bridge,
Okay.
so you can stay out there all day, which I don't recommend. Like you have to, I was telling my friend Killian this last night. It was like people like want to go out there by themselves, and like my main issue is go with someone who has been going there for years. That's my experience with it, because they know, if you just go out there willy-nilly and don't know what you're doing, like you're going to ruin it for the rest of us,
Yeah.
because it's technically
that.
illegal to be out there.
Mhm.
So that was one of the main things that I wanted to accomplish through the film, was to like show them like, hey, you should probably open this back up, or at least hand it over to the state and make it a state park, do
Definitely,
something
yeah.
nice. You're not using this land for anything. So I don't know.
And then on the lake.
Oh, at the lake, yeah. Just northeast or north winds.
Really? Okay, so
When cold
it's
fronts come through.
big enough to. How big is the lake? Like
So
it's enough to produce a wave, which
yeah,
is
a lot. It's a
decent
lot of
size.
room for fetch.
Yeah.
It's like 24 miles across.
Okay.
But it's only like 20 feet deep on average, like in the middle of the lake. So there's really no time. Like it's literally just wind swell.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the bay is. Same kind of thing. It never really, I mean, I've seen it be like 5 feet, but that's like during a tropical storm. And then they'll close down the road to like get down there.
Okay.
So you have to like go all these back ways. It's a fun
Sneak
experience.
in.
Yeah, you have to sneak in, because the water just like goes over the wall and it starts filling into the levee. So it's like the lake just starts encroaching in on the houses and stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's a pretty
Yeah.
wild experience.
You seen any gators in the lake?
I have seen gators.
Some gators.
Some gators.
You get you.
Make some gator sauce.
Cajun gator.
Yeah, Cajun gator.
You think the documentary is going to make people more aware of Louisiana surfing and kind of make them want to go down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the whole premise of the film was just to show like how to have fun again. Like feel like surfing has become so serious and everyone wants to take themselves so seriously, and then you have a group of people in Louisiana that just do it for fun.
Just a passion they love.
Like the
it.
video isn't like stellar surfing or anything like that. It's just like
Everyone's
grassroots
having
fun.
loving
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like once you get older, it's more. I mean, at Grom, I'll be honest, I was like in that mindset.
Oh yeah,
It's all.
I think
like
we
that.
all were.
Then you get older, and you're like, it's not. It's more about just having fun and just doing what you want to do.
Yeah,
It's a lot cooler.
it's way cooler.
And then remember you were telling me like kind of they do that thing weird waves. I know Ben Gravy has Ben Gravy been over there.
Yeah, Ben surfed
Gravy?
the lake with us. Yeah,
How was that?
he's a bundle of energy.
Was it big when you were? Or I mean, not.
No,
any waves?
There were waves, but it was like one of the worst days that I could possibly take. It was like so early in the season, it was like I was so stoked because we had like 2 or 3 good days before that, and he was in Florida, like heading west.
Oh, okay.
So I hit him up and was like sending him pictures of like what it was like the last weekend and stuff, and it was like knee high, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I'm totally
We're
coming."
out there.
Yeah, we're out there, and I was like, "There's a cold front coming through this day, so if you want to like get in town and be ready for it, Um, and he ended up coming out, and that was pretty fun. And he was only like in town for like 2 hours. Filmed the whole vlog.
Just out.
Yeah.
Stopping and
He
getting,
knows how
I
to do
guess.
it, man.
Yeah, knows how to.
I don't know how to do that stuff, but like he knows how to do it, and he knocked it out.
He was knocking out the 50 states and did
Yeah.
it. And then you're telling me Dylan Graves hit you up and wants to come over too, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to get him to come over.
I'm sure he will.
Oh yeah, I sent him a preview of the film. He was pretty stoked about it.
And then I'm sure Vans is, it's already have the kind of connection going on.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought that there was kind of a connection between like me trying to hassle Dylan to like come down for Weird Waves and like us like all of a sudden getting this documentary. It's like, dude, what is going on? Like, did he say something or like what happened? I don't really know, but.
And I just thought of one. Do you think any waves are unridden over there? Do you think any like little barrier islands no one's kind of scoped out or tried out?
Yeah, because there's so many of them.
Once you look on a map, you're like, whoa.
Especially like when you look at like Google Maps or something, like the most updated form of it. Like when you look at old maps, you just see like a bunch of land, and you're like, oh, there's obviously like beaches everywhere. But then you go down there, and you're like, dude, where's the land? It's all water. So it's really hard to like access all these different places because, I mean, no one really wants to just go out on a scouting mission,
I feel that.
We've been trying to like, I know one of the people in our group has a few of them fly planes. So we were thinking about doing like a coast tour, just like taking pictures of like certain spots on like, and like skipping a day where there's surf and literally just going up there.
Seeing where it's breaking.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Just to get that untapped territory and try to figure out like what's actually accessible, what's easy, what's good, that'll all be a process.
Oh yeah.
All of Louisiana is pretty much undiscovered besides like 2 or 3 islands. So
that's true. Definitely be a hike to figure it all out.
Oh yeah.
For sure. And then tell us about this board behind you. Who was it that shaped this one? He's a Louisiana shaper.
Yeah, Shane Madeir.
Shane Madeir. And who is he?
He's like I don't know how old is he? Like in his maybe late 50s or something. I don't know. Sorry, Shane. I don't know how old you are. He had a bad motorcycle accident in like 2010, and he couldn't like he couldn't pop up anymore because his shoulder was just so messed up. So he's like, well, I was a carpenter for like so many years. Why don't I just try to shape my own board? And then he starts looking into it, and he's like, well, I could either have one blank shipped for $180 or have 10 blanks shipped for $180. So I'm going to buy 10 blanks. Yeah. So he just started going at it. And this was his 12th board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is insane.
How long has he been shaping for?
Few years.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty, that's cool. Someone actually in Louisiana is like shaping boards. I mean, maybe us being on the Gulf Coast, people would kind of believe that, but anywhere else like California or somewhere east, they'd be like, huh? Like they don't even believe there's waves on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, I know. The craziest part is he lives like 3 hours from Grand Isle. Well, 4 hours from Grand Isle because he's 2 hours from me. So he's nowhere near any water.
It's a hike.
It's all rivers and stuff. So I mean, I don't know why he doesn't make stand-up paddle boards or anything, but yeah, he just sits in his garage and just bangs out shapes. Like he's making this sick disc shape right now with like a diamond tail. I was like, dude, he's starting to get next level with it now to the point where it's like Louisiana's gonna have its own like shapes.
Shaper? That'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Like he likes retro designs and stuff like that too. So he'll do basically anything, and it covers it a lot in the documentary. Yeah. Like all of his blanks that he has, he just shapes in this little section of his garage.
Yeah, I don't want to take away from anything from the documentary because I'm sure there's
it's
a lot of the info in there already. But I mean, that's pretty much what I got for you, man.
Sup?
I appreciate you freaking hanging out and having a chat with us. And you have anything for the viewers, the listeners here?
Yeah, just have fun surfing. Stop taking it seriously.
Exactly. That's all you can do.
And don't call people off waves. Just let them have them.
I don't know if I can go with that one.
I still do it. I'm guilty. But yeah, no. Just everyone try to have fun. That's all that matters.
Cool. Well, we will see you next time on episode 3. Might be, hopefully, not this long between the next one, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
See you cats.